Hey guys, guess who this is? It's Mr. Morrow with another edition of Morrow Teaches Online. I know you're getting really annoyed with me saying that, but I feel like I needed an opening line. So the aim for today is how do we multiply and divide algebraic fractions? So let's first check our homework. Again, we started off with basics from chapter 6. Not too bad. Again, you can always pause the screen to check your answers. Again, for number 6, and even number 5, well, number 6 definitely harder, but for number 5, let's do number 5 first. Remember, actually even number 4, haha, alright, so, remember, factoring completely, you look for GCF first, and then it's dots or a trinomial. So again, think GCF first. So for number 4, you can take a 4 out first, then double bubble it. For 5, take a 2 out, then do dots. And then for number 6, you do take out the 4, so you GCF it first. But if you notice, there's still a coefficient that's bigger than 1. So that's that fancy one, if you remember, from a long time ago, like the special case one. So what you do is, if it's 4n squared, you just write 4n and 4n. Again, minus means opposite signs. Then remember, the big part that you needed to remember was, remember, you multiply the front with the back. 4 times 3 is 12. Factors of 12 that subtract to 4 are 6 and 2. If it's a positive 4, the 6 gets the positive, the 2 gets the negative. Then remember, you have to fix it by dividing. If you can take something out, you got to take it out. So you can take a 2 out of all this, and you can take a 2 out of all that. And then when you do that, there's your answer. And you know you did it right because you could box or foil it and then distribute back in the 4 to see that you're right. That's a toughie. Okay, so this was the newer stuff. I know it's kind of hard to see the answer, so I'll just box them. So for 7 and 8, again, just you had to simplify 35 over 14. Then you got to deal with the y's and the z's. Remember, the key is where do you see more of them and keep it there. Okay, and if it's the same amount, just cross it off. Number 9, remember what the rule is. You can take all of a bubble or none of a bubble. So when you double bubble x squared plus x minus 20, the x plus 5s and the x plus 5s cancel out. You don't need to write the parentheses around x minus 4. You can. For 10, remember, your first step for these questions is always factor as much as you can. And then if you see matching bubbles, cross them off. You are not allowed to do that. That is a big no-no. Don't do that. Okay. 11. Again, find matching ones. Aha and aha. Now, I know it's tempting. I know you're like, what about x plus 2 and x minus 2? They're almost the same. There's no almost. All or none. It's not anything, so it's none. There's your answer. Okay, dots on top, trinomial on the bottom. Matching. There it is. Don't you dare do that. Don't you dare. Stop it. All right. And then for 13, trinomial on top. And, whoa, that one's got a leading coefficient of a leading exponent degree. Oh, my goodness. All right. So you can take out an x. Remember, GCF first. You take out an x and then double bubble it. Okay? Well, first you should take out the x. Maybe I should have done that first. And then when you do that, you get x squared plus 10x plus 24. Now you go straight into the double bubble. And then if there's matching bubbles, cross them off. And there's your answer. Kids go, should I distribute the x back in? You really shouldn't. Just leave it out. You don't need to distribute that x back in. Okay, for 14, in order for something to be undefined, that means the denominator is equal to 0. So what would it take to make this equal 0? Just set it equal to 0. Add 4. Divide by 2. So it will be undefined when x is 2. Okay. So this lesson is just an extension of the last one. When I learned this lesson back in the early 2000s, my teacher who thought she was being cool used to call this mad canceling. That's because by the end of this lesson, there will be times where it looks like there's so much stuff, but after you cancel out all the bubbles, there may be just like a 1 left. So she used to call it mad canceling. We laughed at her because she was trying to relate to our generation, just like I'm trying to do this with being a YouTuber. So here we go. For number 1, the rule is When you multiply, think of the fraction, the two numerators, as an extension of each other. Anything is fair game. So you could just do 8 times 30, 12 times 36. Now, a lot of kids go, oh, is this cross multiplying? No, that's for proportions when there's an equal sign in the middle. Again, anything is fair game. So here's what I mean by fair game. What's something that can simplify on top and simplify on the bottom? How about 8 and 12? What can you take out of both of those? A 4. So this becomes a 2, this becomes a 3, okay? What can you do with the 30 and the 36? You can take out a 6. This becomes a 5, this becomes a 6. The rule is anything on top is fair game with anything on the bottom. What else can you take out? I see a 2 and a 6. What can you take out of those? Take a 2 out. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 3. So your answer is, what are you left with on top? 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9. And there is your answer. Now that's the gist of it. But obviously, if it's all numbers, what could you do? Just type it in. And I totally forgot what I already said. 8 over 12, 30 over 36. 8 over 12. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? 8 over 12. And I probably should have put it in parentheses. I'll just start from the beginning. Parentheses, 8 over 12 times 30 over 36. Okay, and then remember, go to math, frac, enter. So obviously that's easier if you just want to type it in. But again, you won't be able to do that once when variables get started. So remember, and you can always put a 1 under a number. Remember, anything on top is fair game with anything on the bottom. What can go into 36 and 9? A 9. So this becomes a 4 now. That becomes a 1 because you took out a 9. So what are you left with? 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 1 is 1. Do you really need to write that? No. So your answer is just 20. Okay. Number 3, this is where you can't use the calculator. Anything on top is fair games with anything on the bottom. You can always put a 1 underneath. Here we go. So I see m's on top and m's on the bottom. Remember, I told you this in the last lesson. Cross off this m and then just cross off the exponent so that you took away one of the m's so that you're just left with m. Same thing with n. There's one n on top and 2 on the bottom, which means you're left with 1 on the bottom. So what are you left with? 8 over mn. The problem I see with students on this lesson is that when you're crossing things off, you're not being neat. And you forget about things that are still there. It's very easy to forget if you're messy with your crossing off. Oh my goodness, that n is still there. Yeah, so be careful. Okay, here we go. For number 4, I see an x on top and x on the bottom. Goodbye. I see a y on top, a y on the bottom. Goodbye. Okay, what else can we do? Again, this is like a game, like what goes with what. So 24 and 8, what can you take out? An 8. 24 divided by 8 is 3. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so it kind of just disappears. What else can you do? 14 and 35, you can take out a 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Okay, is there anything else I can do? No, so here we go. 3 times 2 is 6. 5, and 5 is the only thing left on the bottom. So there's your answer. All that became 6/5. And again, if you think this is mad canceling, oh man, wait till the end. So for 5, look at 5. There's a 6r cubed on top and a 6r cubed on the bottom. You can just get rid of all of that. Okay, so here we go. 10 and 5, what goes into both? 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. You could put a 1 there, but you don't have to if it kind of just disappears. 10 divided by 5 is 2. What else can you do? I see s's. There's an S on top and 2 S's on the bottom, so I'm left with 1 S. This is what I mean by if you're not being neat, it's easy to forget something. So for number 5, what do you see is left? So make sure you find everything. There's a 2, there's still an R on top, and there's still an S on the bottom left. And there is your answer. So just make sure you find everything. So for number 6, this is where the last lesson now comes into play. The first thing you should do before simplifying things, see if any of them can factor. For number 6, 2x plus 4 can factor. What can you factor out? A 2. So when you take a 2 out of both of those, you're left with that. Once when you've made sure that you did it right, I like to do this. I like to give it one cross off. Don't scribble it all out, because if you made a mistake, now you can't read what was there. At least if you give a cross off that says, okay, I'm not counting you anymore, but I can still read you if I need you. So now let the mad canceling begin. I see 7 and 21. You can take a 7 out of both. That becomes a 1 or just disappears. And 21 divided by 7 is 3. What else can I do? The 8 and the 2, remember, if it's outside, it's now fair game. 2 and 8, you can take a 2 out. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that disappears. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Is there anything else? No. So what am I left with on top? X plus 2 is left on top. Come on, stylus. Come on, stylus. There you go. X plus 2 is on top. 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And there is your answer. Okay. So remember, you can take all of something or you can't take any of it. For number 7, I see an R minus 1 and an R minus 1. That can all disappear. What about the 2 and the 10? You can take a 2 out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Is there anything else? No. So it's R over 5. Got to be honest, this is one of my favorite topics because I like factoring, and it's like a puzzle. It's how much can you simplify it? Sometimes kids don't simplify enough. The key is always assume you can keep going until you've proven you can't. Okay, for 8, again, factor if you can first. For this part, you can take a 2 out. You're left with S plus 2. Okay, that's correct. I'm going to give it a little cross off. Okay, let the mad canceling begin. Here we go. I see, remember, you can take all of bubbles. I see an S plus 2 on top and an S plus 2 on the bottom, so that's gone. 7 and 21, you can take a 7 out. And 21 divided by 7 is 3. So what are you left with? Again, make sure you find all of it. I see an S, I see a 2, and I see a 3. So what are we left with? 2S divided by 3. And again, my S's kind of look like 5, so do your best. Okay, for number 9, if you can factor, you should factor first. Number 9 on top, that's dots. So I'm just going to, there's not a lot of room to work with, but I'm going to do my best. So remember, I like to write it above it, just so I don't have to rewrite everything again. It's a preference. So dots, A plus minus square root of 9 is 3 and 3. Did I do it right? Yes, so give it a little cross off. The bottom right one, you can GCF that. Take a 2 out, you're left with A minus 3. Did I do that right? Yes, give it a cross off. Let the mad canceling begin. I see an A minus 3 and I see an A minus 3, so that's gone. What about 12 and 3? You can take a 3 out, so that 3 goes away. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Is there anything else I can do? Yes. I see a 2 and I see a 4. You can take a 2 out. So the 2 goes away. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Is there anything else I can do? So what am I left with? I got an A plus 3 over here. I got a 2 over there, and there's nothing left on the bottom. So your answer is just 2 times A plus 3. Again, make sure you find everything, and neatness will really help. And I'm not the neatest person, and a lot of times I forget something that's still there. Be neat. Okay, number 10. Here we go. That's a trinomial in the top left, so let's trinomial this. X, opposite signs. The only factors of 2 are 1 and 2. If I need a negative 1, the 2 has to be negative, the 1 has to be positive. Does it look good? Yeah, so give it a cross off. Okay, the bottom right one, that's dots. X plus minus square root of 4 is 2 and 2. It looks good. Give that a cross off. Let the mad canceling begin. X minus 2, X minus 2. What else we got? 21 and 3, goodbye 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Is there anything else I can do? No. So this one didn't get to mad cancel that much. So what am I left with? I see 7 on top with an X plus 1. over x plus 2, and there's nothing else I can do. And again, you don't need to put the parentheses around x plus 2. You can. It doesn't hurt. Okay, 11, double bubble. A, opposite signs. Factors of 8 that subtract to 7 will be an 8 and a 1. If it's a negative 7, the bigger number will get the negative, and the smaller number will get the positive. That's good, so give it a cross off. The bottom left one, you can take a 2 out. Again, you should factor as much as you can. So you can see how there's so many areas to make a mistake. So you got to really be careful. So, is there anything else I can do? No. So let the mad canceling begin. I see an a plus 1. I see an a plus 1. I see an a minus 8. I see an a minus 8. So what are you left with? A 5 and a 2. So there's your answer. 5 over 2. That was pretty good. Okie dokie. Let it continue. Number 12. You can trinomial that. X, same signs, both positive. The only factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Good. Is there anything else I can factor? No, so let it begin. X plus 1, x plus 1. Okay, so the 3 and the 9. 3 disappears, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now with the y's, there's 1 on top, 2 on the bottom. So this y disappears, and we're left with 1 y on the bottom. Is there anything else? No, so what am I left with? There's an x plus 5, and there's a 3, and there's a y. Make sure you get everything. X plus 5 over 3y. And there's your answer. 13. Okay, that's dots on top. X plus minus square root of 25 is 5 and 5. It's good. Cross it off. Third, the bottom left one, that's dots also. I know that's not one of the more obvious dots, but it is. Square root of 4 is 2, so 2x here, 2x there, plus minus square root of 9 is 3 and 3. Okay, let the mad canceling begin. I see a 2x plus 3, I see a 2x plus 3. I see an x minus 5, I see an x minus 5. Also, I forgot to give that a cross off. Is there anything else I can do? No, so we write x plus 5 over 2x minus 3. Ta-da! We good? Hooray. Okay. And then wait till division happens, then we got to do an extra step. For 14, you can factor all of those. So let's factor all of these. The top left is GCF, and I'm going to go a little bit faster just to kind of save some time. You can factor out a 5, and you get that. The bottom left, you can factor out a 6. And then this one, you can do dots. X plus minus 2 and 2. Okay, so these are all gone now. And these are the new ones. Let the mad canceling begin. X plus 2, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 3. The 4 and the 6. You can take a 2 out. 4 becomes a 2 now. 6 becomes a 3 now because we divided by 2. Is there anything else left? So again, be careful and make sure you get everything. There's still a 2. There's still a 5. There's still a 3. There's still an x minus 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times x minus 2 is 3 times x minus 2. 15. Double bubble. Y, opposite signs. Factors of 3 to get a negative 2 would have to be a negative 3 and a positive 1. And that's good. The bottom right, take out a 2. Okay, let the mad canceling begin. Goodbye y plus 1, goodbye y plus 1. 4 and 2, this becomes a 2, that becomes a 1. Or you can just not write it at all. I see 2 C's on top and 3 on the bottom. So 2 C's goodbye. And if I take out 2 of these C's, I'm only left with 1 C. Also, I should have crossed that off. Is there anything else? Yes, there is. The 2's. There's a 2 on top and a 2 on the bottom. And again, I don't really care about that 1. So what am I left with? I'm just left with y minus 3. There's your answer. Ta-da! Okay, so now we start division. So if you remember from 6th grade, remember the thing that sounded like chicken? And I know you're like, what? Chicken? Yes, not KFC. KCF. Remember that? Keep, change, flip. So you're going to keep the first fraction. So 3x over 5y stays the same. You're going to change the division into a multiplication sign. Now, you could rewrite it. I'm kind of lazy. And now you're going to flip the last fraction. So now the 2y is on top and the 21x is on the bottom. So once when you flipped it correctly, just give those a cross off. Now you're just doing what we were just doing. So you see how it's one extra step? Just like in 6th grade, it's one extra step now. You just got to be careful. So now, what can we cross off? The x's, goodbye. The y's, goodbye. The 3 and the 21, goodbye. 3, 21 divided by 3 is 7. So what are you left with now? You're left with a 2, a 5, and a 7. So 2 over 5 times 7 is 35. And there it is. So again, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. Change division to multiplying. Flip the second fraction. But be careful because it's very, very easy to write something wrong. So you should always double check saying, did I write it correctly? Yes, you did. So give them a cross off. Let it begin. Okay, 7 goes away. 14 becomes a 2. Okay, I can't do anything with the a. B squared, there's 2 of them, so those all go away. And there was 3 down here, so you can take away 2 of them. So you're left with only 1. What else can I do? The 5 and the 10, you can take a 5 out, so that becomes a 2. That goes away. The c's, there's 1 c on the bottom, there's 2 c's on top. So this 1 c, goodbye, and this 2 c's only become 1 c now. Same thing with the d's. There was 1 d on the bottom, 2 on top. So this becomes 1 d, and that disappears. What am I left with? I got some 2's. Well, let's see. I got the C. I got an A, C, and a D. I got a 2, and a B. You see what I mean by it's very easy to not see something? So what are we left with? A, C, D. If they had another C, it's a good band. 2 times 2 is 4B. And there's your answer. The next one. Keep, change, flip it. That was much easier to flip. Okay, cross those off. Let it begin. Okay, where should I start? I see an X on top. I see an X on the bottom. That was probably the easiest to attack. Okay, I have 2 Y's on top, 1 Y on the bottom. So that 1 Y disappears, and one of these Y's are there. And it looks like there's nothing else I can do. So I have a Y and 3 more. That's 4 Y's. On the bottom is X squared. And there it is. And again, if you think I made a mistake, because I am trying to rush through these kind of fast, and these do take time, please let us know. Okay, the top left, well, again, before you do anything, if it's a division question, change it to a multiplication. Keep, change, flip it. Yeah, so that disappears. Okay, now the top left is dots, x, plus, minus, 1, and 1. Okay, here we go. X minus 1, goodbye. 10 and 5, goodbye 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. There's nothing left on the bottom, so my answer is 2 times x plus 1. Yay. Okay, so we're coming down to the final stretch. Again, these are going to be the hardest, even though if you get the hang of these aren't that bad. Okay, it's division, keep, change, flip it. Again, I like to write it right next to it just so I can see it to copy it. Cross it off, cross it off. Okay, now it's a multiplication question. Top left is dots. 2a, because again, the square root of 4a squared is 2a and 2a, plus minus 3 and 3. Goodbye. The bottom right, you can take out a 5. So what do we get? We get take out a 5. You're left with 2a plus 3. Okay, I think we're ready to start doing some mad canceling. 2a plus 3, 2a plus 3. How about we do 25 and 5? The 5 disappears. 25 divided by 5 is 5. But now there's a 5 and a 10. And it doesn't matter which one you pick. In the end, if you simplify, it's going to come out to the same answer. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 goes away. So what is left? I got a 2a minus 3 on top, and I got a 2 on the bottom. And there's your answer. Okay, this one. This one's actually kind of funny how you can just flip it. Well, here's what I would do. Keep, change, and remember, there's really a 1 on the bottom. So instead of writing that, why don't you just do this? Just put the 1 on top now. There, problem solved. Now for the top left one, you can GCF that. Take an a out because they both have an a. And what are you left with? A minus b. And again, if you're ever unsure that you factored correctly, just distribute the a back in. You would get back to that original question. So let's cross that off. Bottom right, that's dots. A plus minus b and b. Good. Let it begin. A minus b, a minus b. I see an a on top and an a on the bottom. Is there anything else? No. So the answer is 1 is left on top. 4 times a plus b. Again, this is the definition of tedious work. You just gotta find it all. Okay, division. Keep, change, flip. Keep, change it, flip it. Again, that's gotta be your first step if you're dividing. All right, good and good. Let's factor. Now for 22, I'll show you what you can do. So, all right, let's do this first. So let's take the 3 out here, x plus 2, and that goes away. The bottom left, when you take, this one's going to take a few steps. So you take out a 4, you're left with x squared minus 4, yeah. But now if you look, you can dots the inside. So 4, double bubble. So sometimes it may be a factoring completely question. X plus minus 2 and 2. So that's like a double cross off. Now, here's what you can do. You could spread, you remember how we learned it's so nice, write it twice? And you could just write that. I mean, if you want, that definitely helps some kids. If you want, you could just cross off the exponent. So why don't we just do this? So nice, write it twice. Okay, let the mad canceling begin. I see an x minus 2. I see an x minus 2. I see an x plus 2 with another x plus 2. I see the 3 and the 21. Goodbye, 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Is there anything else? No. So what am I left with? I see an x minus 2. I see a 4. I see a 7. So your answer is x minus 2 over 4 times 7 is 28. Okay. Final questions. What do you think? Is this it? This is it. If you can do these, you can do any of these. There's a lot going on, and this is the definition of intimidation. Again, the first thing I would do is change division to multiplication. So I know kids go, well, what am I supposed to keep? So we're just focusing on this one part. This would be the keep, change, flip, okay? But obviously you wouldn't write that, but just so you can see it. So here we go. We're going to keep, change, and now flip this. So x to the 4th, y to the 4th is now on top. X plus y squared. Ew, come on, stylus. You were doing so well today. Come on. There we go. No, come on. Come on. All right. And that's on the bottom. So we're good. Cross them off. So, factor if you can. Tell me why the bottom left is not dots. What does the D stand for in dots? Difference. Is that a subtraction? No, so you can't do anything with that. So you can't do anything with the top left, nothing with the bottom left, nothing with the x, nothing with the x minus y. Now for this part, we can dots this part. So you get x squared minus, oh god, I'm not leaving myself enough room. All right, here we go. X squared, give me a second. Come on. How do I want to write this? Should I write it off to the side? I'm actually going to write this off to the side. X squared, again, let's put the double bubble. X squared plus x squared minus y squared over. And now this one, remember, you can write this bubble twice now. X plus y. Now here's why this is a really mean question. I'm going to actually have to move this. You can dots this one because that's still another dot. So let's dots it again. Oh my goodness. X plus minus y and y. Now why can't you dots this one? It's because it's addition. Okay, let the mad canceling begin. You ready? This one's going to be fun. I see an x plus y with an x plus y. Goodbye. What else I got? I see an x squared plus y squared with an x squared plus y squared. What else we got? I have an x plus y with an x plus y. Also, I forgot to cross this one off. Sorry. Because that was when I rewrote it. And then I got an x minus y with an x minus y. So what am I left with? I'm left with x. That's your answer. And that is the definition of mad canceling. That is as hard as it gets. So if you can do that, that is impressive. Just saying. The last one. Keep, change, flip it. Come on. Come on. Also, some kids are like, can I factor it as I'm flipping it? Again, you know your own skills. If you want to skip steps, that's on you. Okay, cross it off, cross it off. Okay, let's factor if we can. We can take a 2 out of here. Come on. Come on. Cross that off. Yeah, don't forget to cross them off as you go. This one, you can take a 4 out. Come on. All right. There's nothing else I can see that we can do, so let's do this. Come on, buddy. X minus 1, x minus 1, x plus 2, x plus 2, x plus 1, x plus 1. What are you left with? You're left with a 2 and a 4. But what else can you do? Goodbye 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. The answer is 1/2. All that became 1/2. Pretty cool. So if you could do that, that's impressive, guys. Again, I miss you guys dearly. And until next time, this is Mr. Morrow saying, miss you guys. Bye.